Let's do the collective energy reading in 3 parts as normal. I'm using the Forecaster Oracle, but I'm also going to do the personal predictions at the end for the last section. First section will be what's happening in the collective energy. Second section will be upcoming predictions for the week ahead. And then the third section is how to best navigate the incoming energies for the week ahead. So I want to go through a couple from last week that happened. Some of the things that I said that came up in the cards was diplomatic fallout and rising tension. I'm not going to go too much into that. Also the ceasefire changing course. So we already know those things are happening. So I'm not going to go into those things. So one of the other predictions was infrastructure impacted by war, or issues around infrastructure. We saw Iranian projectile hitting a water pump station. Also, hospitals were destroyed in Gaza. So that was some of the infrastructure that were destroyed due to impacts of war. And I did see a headline also that there was some kind of flooding and maybe bridges out in Texas. I saw briefly come up on my algorithm. Now, I did see a lot of water energy last week in the sign. So I said there was energy around anomalies in weather patterns and issues around water, either rising water, tsunami warnings, some kind of flooding. So, and I think maybe, let me know if this is correct, something around Texas, amongst other places. Now, as far as the earth issues, I said there was all the cards there. Earthquakes, volcanoes, and water events were in there. We had a lot of energy last week around earth impacts. So we saw a landslide due to heavy monsoon rains. And I have no idea what that place is called. Rohingya camps. Also, Europe has recorded a heat wave, so that would be the anomaly or to do with weather patterns. I said it may be rain, unusual weather patterns with rain, or it could be heat. And so we're looking at Europe's record heat wave. Cuba suffers nationwide blackouts due to grid failure because of extreme conditions. Now, there was one in there that was really big. It was something big's going to happen on the algorithm and social media. And usually when that algorithm card pops out, it usually means something quite big is coming. I did mention something around, because I saw the UK card there. I said it could be something in the UK. And then also the policy card, which is also called, let me think what it's called, under scrutiny. So under scrutiny. So I think that could actually be the murder of Anne Whitcomb in the UK. That was all over my algorithm, so I am going to do a reading on that today. That'll come up first before this reading, though, in my upload list. But I think that was the big thing that happened. Now I can see some other things, some other headlines that matched. There was the burial of the Iran Supreme Leader, and that drew 15 million mourners. I kind of don't think that was the one. I would have saw more of the mourning card in that one. And UK foils a far-right terror plot also on the algorithm, and that would align because of the UK, and I mentioned UK. So UK unfolding drama was the other thing that it said. Under review, that was the word. Under review, unfolding drama, something big going to happen all over the algorithm to do with the UK. Possibly under investigation or high media attention. And that I feel would be Anne Whitcomb. Now, I did say something around a school seen by many, media attention, a school-related event gaining widespread attention. No direct school-specific headlines around that. There was a pub fire in Bangkok, definitely not it. And Colombia rescues 39 kidnapped civilians, including children. That's not it either. So yeah, I'm not sure. When I saw that come up, it baffled me a little bit. So yeah, I don't think we had a hit on that one. But we did have hits on the diplomatic fallout, the ceasefire changing course, war-damaged infrastructure, earth and weather events, which would be anomalies in the weather patterns, and a social media algorithm spike with the UK, and some kind of unfolding scandal or something under review. I think that definitely fits. So most of the predictions did hit last week. I would say there was maybe 1 or 2 in there that didn't. So let's get on to today's reading. Welcome back. Okay, I've just decided to do this week a little bit differently. I think I'm going to read just the one spread today for collective and predictive, because lately they've been coming up the same. The collective has been cross-referencing over into the predictive reading. So I think I'm going to just feel into collectively what's going on while I'm talking about predictively what will be coming for the week ahead. Now today I'm reading the cards today on the 17th here in the Southern Hemisphere. It will be uploaded on Monday, so that will be about the 21st in the Southern. Interesting. I think we're still on alerts for some kind of earthquake. Look, given these cards here, and I've got to be clear now, when I was shuffling that time, I showed you, I pulled it open. There was like some similar cards to last week, which was the school one again. And also, I think it could have been that one that I saw. I can't remember now. But these ones are very, very similar to last week. However, it's becoming more urgent this week. I feel like we've been on earthquake watch in maybe somewhere big. Again, we've got upheaval and chaos. This is a tower card right here, and this is upheaval and chaos. So this can talk about cyclones or wind events. But I think this week it's getting even closer. There's energy coming around, like we're expecting some kind of earthquake coming or some kind of natural disaster coming, but it feels like the intensity of this one is quite big, but it feels like it's getting closer. Now moving into the next phase, the climate reckoning, earth response moving into the next phase. Now, as soon as I say that, I want to talk about the El Nino again that's moving in. We're on a really high energy El Nino. A super El Nino has been declared, and I picked up this a couple of weeks ago in the collective energy, and then it was declared that week. But I'm feeling something around that's going to start. We're going to start seeing the results of that in an earth way. I feel like it's got something to do, and I normally say the sun activity has something to do with, the events, the earth reckoning, earth responding to it, but I wonder if I'm feeling it's more like this El Nino that's coming in that's going to be triggering more of a reaction for the earth. There's something happening that's causing more of a reaction to the earth. Because I'm combining collective energy with predictive energy this week, maybe it's the collective energy and as I say that, because we all know they're connected. So what we put into the collective energy, I feel affects the predictive energy and especially around the earth and what happens with the earth. So I feel like when there's a lot of negative energy in the collective, I feel like we have the earth responds by earthquakes, volcanoes, a lot of tension with the earth. Now, while I'm saying that, I know that it's tense and I know with what's going on there's a lot more tension globally. But I'm really feeling more drawn to say the tension's coming from the earth itself. This is the earth responding, and we're moving into the next phase of something. So we're on the next phase of the earth responding in some way. Is it like, no, okay. As we move closer to September, because we are at the end of July, August, sometimes I pick up events happening in August leading into changes in September. So I feel we're getting closer. That's what I'm feeling collectively, like the tension of the earth it's like we're on earth watch. We're like we're I don't know, it's a feeling of just something's coming. And the cards here are saying that it's an earth response, shaky ground, structure reform, which means that's the earth, structure of the earth changing. Now, if I was to read that in a sentence, this would be the earth is earth responding, climate reckoning, but it's a earth moving, earth responding movement, fracturing earth, causing structure reform to the earth, but also whatever's on the earth at the time where it hits. Joining forces, merging to me sounds a bit like a collision, like impact the two plates up against each other. Distraction, spin. Well, that's interesting. And narrative used to discernment. That's an eyes open event coming in the week ahead. Eyes open to something this week. Something's been hidden. But meanwhile, all of this is going on. There's a system collapsing in a state of emergency, upheaval and chaos. These are quite tense here. So let me pull back for a minute and just go in individually and have a look. Okay, so this is bringing in, say like the Venezuela earthquake that happened, and it was in a state of emergency, or it declared a state of emergency. Whether that means predictively it will be declared a state of emergency, I feel it's long gone. I feel like it's we're past that point now. I'm more feeling like there's something coming. We're on Earth watch for upheaval and chaos coming. Well, I can't believe these cards. They're very heavy today. So let me pull out a couple of... Now, a succession plan, next phase. A succession plan, what would that be? That would be a system collapsing that is unstable and therefore requiring... That's the Tower. Sometimes they say Tower of London. This is, we're looking at the next phase of the Kiyastama succession plan here, predictably. While there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So things are happening in the background while we are distracted by what's going on the surface. It looks like something is declared a state of emergency, an urgent response required. But while this is going on, and we're all looking here, we have to be careful of what's going on in the background as a distraction or a spin where we could be manipulated in the media, and we need to keep our eyes open. This is an eyes open card. It's media everywhere, and this is what the media is saying and manipulating the situation. And here it's saying distraction and spin. So they are definitely connected, these two. Emerging or adjoining forces in a turbulent situation. So I am recording. So the funny thing, and this never happens to me, I never re-pull cards, but this is one of those days where I think, oh, I don't like these cards. Can I just re-pull them? And I never do it, but today I just feel like I don't like the cards on the table today. And I have to say that sometimes we can think the worst of a situation, and it may just be something really simple, really basic, and not so bad. So a lot of the predictions last week came true. Some of them were terrible, but maybe they weren't as bad as what they could be. So, and here's where I feel the connection to prediction and collective energy is. If we're doing our best to input, and I don't want to be too woo-woo, but if we're doing our best to raise the vibration of the collective energy, then maybe the outcome will not be as bad. I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that energy. And that's why I feel like if we can divert, something here's bringing this to, if we can divert a crisis by being careful where we focus our attention, discerning where we put our energy. Because I feel like there's something sitting beneath the surface that could erupt at any time. So it could, and I feel we're in a really unstable situation now. Whether we're talking about war, and we're very unstable when it comes to the climate of where we are going, where we're heading because of the decisions that's being made right now, and we're moving into phase 2. We're moving into the next stage of war, or whether it is just the earth, because there's so many earth cards here. There's something sitting beneath the surface, and I feel like it's in this point of crossing over into the point of no return, as in it could change at any point until we cross that threshold of, okay, this is the path we've chosen, this is the direction we're going, and there's some underlining more than tension. It's complete tower. This is the Tower card. system collapse, unstable, state of emergency. We're moved to the next phase, and it's quite tense. I don't like these cards at all. I don't like any of these cards. There's not a card here I can say, okay, let's focus today on this. Except for these two, which are eyes open and saying, just be aware that what we could be seeing in the media this week could be forcing us to focus on more, like there's a lot of negative stuff in the media. But I do feel like we're on maybe earthquake watch or something where there's the plates colliding, or there's something going on where we're on this watch and we're waiting. It's like maybe there's like little earthquakes that go off in a certain area, and then I know they work in a pattern. So sometimes if you have like a 6.5 on one side of the world, you'll have a 6.5 somewhere else. And I feel like we're like waiting for the bigger one that's coming in. It's one of these days where I just wish I could repull. I wish I could repull and say, okay, I don't like the predictions today. And have you ever heard me say that? Not once in all the years I've been doing it. So why have they given me such hard cards today? You know, it's not even war cards. I don't know if the state of emergency succession next plan is moving further into a war state. But gee, I feel like it's connected to Earth. I feel more connected to an Earth event that we're on watch for. Maybe they've got us looking at an Earth event that we're worried about. We're worried about a volcano going off. We're worried about a big earthquake in a major city. But while we're watching that, something else is going on in the background. I want us distracted. So maybe it's just a full-on media campaign, because we're seeing a lot of the media distraction cards. And this is probably the most positive way I can spin this, is that maybe it's just a manipulation in the media to get us in a fear state, or get us to focus our attention on fear of this incoming whatever it is. So meanwhile, something else is done. Moving succession next fan. Now the other thing I don't want to go on too much about is data centers. I worry about the effects of data centers on the Earth and the Earth responding. The more we're getting these data centers in, I feel like the Earth will respond in a negative way because of that happening. And I feel like maybe we're seeing the beginning of that, because it feels like there's more coming and bigger ones coming, and I feel it is connected to data centers because of the Earth responding. They're showing me that it's not sun response like I normally say. It's more like it's something else, more earthbound. I'm going to leave it. There's nothing really positive. This is a weird one. It's not where I'm getting lots of different little predictions. The whole lot of these feel connected to me, but it feels also like it could possibly be a media spin on something as well, maybe dramatizing it to make it seem so much bigger than it is. But I'm only seeing the one big event, one big thing happening that's moving into the next phase of whatever it is. So I'm going to move into and you know what, I think that's why today I've chosen to read the personal predictions as the second spread, because so I don't get a second reading like this one. And I do apologise to everybody. I can't choose the cards that come out, as much as I would love to say, okay, turn it off, turn the camera off and reshuffle. I can't do that, because this is what wants to be revealed today. This is how to best navigate the energies that's coming in this week. So we're seeing a mental struggle. This is mental health of others, and it's saying that you need to care for others here. So we're saying that the energy is going to be a little bit tense this week. Some people will be in a state of discontent, could be feeling of losses. There could be, and it's quite tense with the energy around mental health and mental struggle this week, possibly because of what's on social media. Maybe this is a really good week to take a bit of a social media break. It take some time to put your feet on the earth this week, because we need to care for people, because especially what we know how to take care of ourselves. We know our toolkit for picking up our vibration. We all know how to do those things, but I feel not everybody does. There's a lot of people out there that are really get hammered by the mental health issues, and the more they see things on social media, they don't know what it's doing. It's actually making their mental health worse. I haven't helped in any way today with that reading that I brought through today, so please make sure you're using your toolkit even after watching this to make that conscious choice of what you're doing with your energy if you're choosing positive over negative. So that's your individual responsibility, is to take care of your own energy first of all. You cannot help others unless you help yourself. So making sure that you're choosing positive energy. And if this week it means that we're turning off social media, we're turning off media, we're just getting in touch with the earth, putting feet on the ground, and really just focusing on our own bubble, inside our own bubble. It's saying be open to receive energy here, be open to receive positive over negative, because there's going to be good and bad. So there is going to be some negative things in the headlines this week, negative energy in the collective energy, but you need to be open only to the positive this week. You had that responsibility to take care of your own energy. Otherwise, if you start falling down the rabbit hole, or falling down, declining and falling into it, the distraction, the media distraction we saw in the last, then it lowers your energy right down. There'll be brain fog, there'll be tiredness, there'll be depression for some people, mental health issues. There could be some challenges around some people because this is quite heavy energy here. This is discontent and loss, sitting next to mental struggle. So we need to take, and then up here it says take care of the people around us, because they don't know. Some people just don't know how to get themselves out of that hole. Just check in, message, phone call, are you okay? If you're worried about any of your relatives. And then we see luck on your side. So having someone on their side is sometimes having somebody, knowing that somebody's looking out for them, could be enough to, a good chat, a good conversation could be enough to pull somebody out of a dark hole that they're spiraling into. Advancing down I'm going to say on the positive though, if you're focusing on your own advances this week, it's probably for the better. Be open to positive incoming this week. There is, as I said, there's positive and negative. So on the positive, you've got luck on your side this week. Try and do your best to tap into that lucky energy. Could be bring career advancements. It could be smashing through any blockages that you've been having on your path lately. Be open to receive positive, and really put up your defensive systems against the negative energy, because there's a little bit of it in the collective this week. Hope you all have a beautiful week ahead, and I'll be back next week. And let's hope I'm wrong about all of this week.